Hugo isn't dead. I'm pretty sure most people already assumed that, but I wasn't expecting ZZZ to just outright confirm it during the live stream. I mean, I'm sure they knew that we all assumed that he wasn't dead, but play it up a little. Come on, ZZZ. But with Hugo's death confirmed to not be real, what was his real plan? Why go through all of the trouble of contacting Hartman, pretending to work with him, pretending to betray us, fake his death with the result that Hartman takes the sacrifice core anyways? Or did he? Because I think there's much more that meets the eye. After all, Hugo is a phantom thief. So today we'll be doing a quick recap of the 1.6 story quest, then talk about what Hugo's real plan is and how it might just save all of New Eridu. But before that, you probably know that Castress is coming out soon, and if you're like me, you're probably pulling for her too. And if you're more like me, you probably need a little help in the form of top-ups. And that's where the partner of today's video comes in, LootBar GG. LootBar GG finds the best possible prices for you, giving you big discounts on the original price. I have personally used and tested LootBar GG, and it has saved me money on my rolls. So if you're looking to top up for any of the upcoming characters in Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, ZZC, or any of the other plethora of games that LootBar covers, click the link below to save up to 21% or more on your chosen game. First time users get an extra 8% off as well. Thank you so much, LootBar GG, for being the partner for this video. Now back to the theory. Before we get into Hugo's plans, we have to do a quick recap of what happened during the 1.6 story quest, because a lot of what was shown will affect what's to come, and it helps you get ready for the 1.7 story quest coming out soon. A man named Hugo reserves the whole video store. He introduces himself as a collector of sorts and requests an old movie called Children of Devils. After Belle confirms that they haven't heard of the movie, Hugo then rents out every video that is currently available for rent as a form of, quote, investment in a collector's find. He then mentions that there is an auction being hosted by the upper class of New Eridu. Afterwards, Belle or Wise head to the raffle that is held for the auction and meet with Hugo after running into someone from the Ravenlock family who was claiming that the MC stole their wallet, and an argument ensues and they thoroughly get a word lashing. He runs off and suddenly everyone in line gets free money in their wallets and we win the lottery that Hugo may or may not have had a hand in. Afterwards, Victoria Housekeeping comes and introduces their master, the mayor of New Eridu himself, Mayor Mayflower, who wants to speak with Belle and Wise. He confirms that he knows about their past at Helios Academy and their teacher, Carol Arna. The mayor says that he found some old data that Carol left behind and knows a way to minimize the side effects of Belle and Wise's eye implants by making an upgrade to the HDD system to boost the siblings' ether aptitude, so they can now go into the hollow themselves. After running a quick test with Victoria Housekeeping, Mayor Mayfield then requests the siblings to bid on his behalf for an item that holds the sacrifice core that was stolen for the most secure lab in New Eridu. It was confirmed that Tops wants the sacrifice core to cause a mass attack on New Eridu to discredit the mayor and the city administration so that the Mayflower family would be ousted from city government. There's also the implication that members of Tops might be working with or a part of the Exaltus, a group of fanatics who embrace the hollow disaster that befell the world long ago and adore the creator. Their goal is to, quote, refine humanity into the next steps of evolution and make it enter the age of the hollows. After agreeing to the mayor's request, they now need to get an auction ticket who they secure from Hugo after helping him eavesdrop on a conversation with Hartman. During the auction where the disguised sacrifice core was up for grabs, Belle/Wise was in an auction battle with Hartman, the leader of the Ravenclaw family of Tops, whose ranking has fallen in the Tops organization. They are currently desperately trying to get the sacrifice core to increase their rankings in Tops. Hartman does eventually win the bid, but then Mockingbird, or Hugo, steals it and after a chase and confrontation with Lycon, gets away. After the incident, Vivian then convinces Belle and Wise to work with her, and apparently Vivian has the ability to get premonitions of only bad things. After they find Bringer's notebook in the outer ring, Hugo meets with them and Vivian is revealed to be a member of Mockingbird. Mockingbird and the siblings make a deal to cooperate to save New Eridu from the sacrifice plot from Tops, even allowing Lycon to be brought along as a sign of trust. Hugo then secretly meets with Hartman, reveals that he is Mockingbird, and makes a deal with him to have Hartman get Hugo into Tops in exchange for the sacrifice core. Vivian then contacts Belle and Wise for a mission to investigate the Ballet Twins Tower based on the coordinates from Binger's notebook. Right before getting to the coordinates in the Ballet Twins Tower, Hugo tells Belle and Wise that he has always seen Vivian as a sister, possibly because she resembles his deceased sister Serena. He then requests that the siblings look after her and keep her safe. After getting to the coordinates and finding a cocoon sacrifice, they speculate that all of the coordinates in Bringer's notebook might all be sacrifices. They are throughout the city and have at least a dozen if not more. If they they were awakened, they would cause a catastrophic disaster in New Eridu. At that moment, Hartman shows up and thanks them for helping him find the sacrifice. It's then revealed that Hugo has betrayed everyone and handed Hartman the sacrifice. While battling, Hartman and Hugo take the sacrifice to the top of Ballet Twins Tower, where Hugo tells Hartman that the deal was fake, that he only did this to get revenge on him, and that his real name is Hugo Vlad Ravenlock, the rightful heir to the Ravenlock family. He then reveals that he has already talked to Edmund, the head of Tops, about him securing the title of heir as long as Hugo can bring the sacrifice core to him. Hugo says that everything he did was to take back his standing in the Ravenlock family and to take revenge on Hartman. Lycon then stops him, stating that they need him alive for the information on sacrifices and the Exaltists. But Hugo makes a stand that while he did betray Hartman, he's still choosing Tops, planning to play the long game and eventually get into the inner circle of Tops and make a permanent change that will actually make a difference, claiming that Mockingbird never actually changed anything. A little interesting point here, there is a clear reference to Persona 5 in this. I mean, ZZZ as a whole has a huge inspiration from the Persona series, but especially Mockingbird is a direct reference to the Phantom Thieves of Heart from Persona 5. Obviously, Hugo calling himself a Phantom Thief is one thing, but also this concept of using a method of theft to change society is the whole plot point of Persona 5. And this internal turmoil of wondering if they actually make a difference is the plot point in Persona 5. There will always be another bad guy, so how do you make a difference? Thought it was a cool reference to share, but back to the recap. We then fight Hugo and probably the best boss team in ZZZ. I mean, like, listen to this. After losing the fight, Hugo then takes Belle or Wise hostage, threatening to kill the MC if he doesn't get the sacrifice core, revealing that Vivian had stolen it. Vivian gives it to Hugo, but Hugo lied and is still claiming to kill the MC, while goading Lycon, who then notices something and grabs Hugo, who drops the sacrifice core in front of Hartman. Lycon then stabs his hand through Hugo's heart and throws him off the tower into the hollow. It's revealed that Hartman took the sacrifice core and fled while everything was happening. The group reconvenes and decides to head back to the video store. At that moment, a mysterious lady comes out claiming that she will be pleased about this. May the creator guide us, which confirms that this lady is from the Exaltists. Vivian then gets a premonition of someone with wings falling. Vivian then requests to stay with the siblings for a little while as she needs to get through her emotions. And that's the full recap for the 1.6 story quest. Now comes the theory part of this video. Hugo isn't dead. It's been confirmed as much from ZZZ, and right after Hugo's death, Vivian and the siblings speculate that something doesn't add up. And there was even a moment that right before Lycon stabbed Hugo, that Lycon noticed something. So this isn't about Hugo being dead or not, it's about what was the point of all this. To be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that innocent people's lives were at stake, I would actually believe Hugo to play the long con, infiltrate Tops, and make a bigger change within it. The kids weren't wrong that that's the actual best way to make real effective change. But obviously that's not an option when a disaster on the level of the fall of the old capital is at stake. So what could Hugo do? Let's start with answering the most glaring question. Why did Hugo fake his death? If he dies, then Mockingbird is dead too. In the eyes of Tops and the Exaltists, this would be exactly what they wanted. There was proof as much with the lady at the end confirming that, quote, she will be pleased. Hugo really did make that deal with Edmund, but the goal was to reveal that he was Mockingbird to Tops, without repercussions, using his family name and offering the sacrifice core. The important thing is that Edmund knows that someone from the Ravenlock family is bringing the sacrifice core to him. Hugo knows that Tops doesn't care who gets them the sacrifice core, and if he really did bring the core, Edmund would probably just kill him. Hugo would still be a risk as the thief who stole from them for many years. So the point of his death is for Tops to think that Mockingbird is no longer a threat. His death made public would bring shame to the Ravenlock family, as his name and identity as the true Ravenlock heir possibly being killed by Hartman would further hurt their reputation. And that brings us to the next question. Why would Hugo let Hartman take the sacrifice core? What, you thought that was an accident? We're talking about a guy that had pickpocketing skills that would make Matt Damon jealous. So I made this joke without realizing that most of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, because Ocean's 11 came out in 2001. So I feel old now. So why give Hartman the sacrifice core and why put on this whole show? Well, did Hugo really give Hartman the core? Or was it a fake? I mean, it makes total sense. Why would Hugo even bring the real one if the goal the whole time was to betray Hartman and fake his death? Even if he really was going through with the fake plan of joining Tops, there would even be less of a reason to bring the sacrifice core. Putting on this whole show just to give Hartman a fake accomplishes two things. One, ensuring Hugo's safety. If Hugo just gave Edmund a fake sacrifice core and the moment comes for them to use it and find it doesn't work, then Hugo and his associates are the main target, hunted for life. Putting on the show of taking the Ravenlock heir and wanting his revenge on Hartman only for him to die in the end was all because Hugo knew that Tops would be watching him after he approached Edmund. So this would erase the target on his back by not only dying, but giving a motive for him to have the true sacrifice core and losing it to Hartman. Second is, this is for his revenge because it'll now be Hartman that goes and offers a sacrifice to Edmund, and now left carrying the bag once the core doesn't work. The Ravenlock family might even be ousted from Tops and is publicly shamed. From the way Hartman's acting, this may actually destroy the family. Hartman at this point may plead with Edmund to give him one last chance in order to bring the rest of the sacrifices that were in Bringer's notebook, and that's probably going to be the plot for 1.7, the race to handle the sacrifice crisis, and Mockingbird already solving one of them. It was confirmed during the livestream that we will face sacrifices, meaning multiple, which is why Yi Xuan was called by the mayor, since she is a Void Hunter ranked investigator and could probably handle 1 or 2 sacrifices on her own. Which, by the way, as a side note, why wouldn't the mayor just call up like all of the Void Hunters? Especially if this is like a disaster on the level of the fall of the old capital. Like, I understand the idea of being discreet, but like calling a few of them to help out probably would be fine. Unless he doesn't like trust them, which is a whole nother can of worms. But I feel like at least Miyabi would be fine, right? Just wanted to point that out there because I thought it was a little weird. But who knows, it might actually happen. We know from the livestream that Hugo will handle some things personally, which will probably be within the Ravenlock family and slowing Tops down, while Vivian, Victoria Housekeeping, and Yi Xuan handles the sacrifices. Somewhere in there, Vivian will have to leave due to her premonitions and confront her family, who I suspect are members of the Exaltists, due to Hugo's promise to her that they would investigate them. The siblings will look for Vivian and chase after the sacrifices, and during that, the true power of the eye implants will awaken, with the signal of the Void Hunter, which might be a sign of the siblings' connection to Professor Archie, one of the first Void Hunters and founder of Helios Academy. As this is the end of Season 1, I would imagine that everyone we have met will show up at least briefly to help handle the different sacrifices throughout New Eridu, and ultimately, once everything is solved, the mayor will hire and sponsor the siblings to work in investigating the Exaltists throughout all of New Eridu, which will lead us to Waifei Peninsula with Yi Xuan, and gives the reason that the siblings will go see all of the different regions for the future patches to come. And that's my theory and recap. If you got to this point in this video, thank you so much for watching. As always, like and subscribe if you like these types of recaps and theories from ZZZ. And of course, let me know your own thoughts and theories in the comments below. And this time, let me know if you're excited for 1.7, the finale for the first season of ZZZ. With that all being said, peace.